back on track after this 20-minute Clio Cup, so I'll hand back to Jack, and we'll see the supercars back on track later.
Slightly early, the 4 Clios making their way around the track for what is race number 11 this afternoon, and they've already provided us with a thrilling race earlier on. This is the penultimate weekend for the Clio Cup. There you can go and see the final rounds 11 and 12 at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit on the 26th of October, which I'm sure will be thrilling. So the Clio's just making their way towards the Shell Oils hairpin behind the safety car.
So here is the grid for the second race for the Clio Cup GB. It will be Ben Colburn that lines up on pole position ahead of Nicky Taylor. So it's a Westbourne Motorsport and Graves Motorsport row 1, and on row 2 of the grid we have Ben Jenkins and Dara Flock. Now Dara, he finished the race earlier on in what is 3rd place, albeit we'll be starting this race in 4th, obviously going off of qualifying this morning, so hence the change in that regard. So Dara Flock has a bit of driving to do, is probably the nicest way to put it for this one, because we know that Dara, he is a racer. He wants to get wins, podiums, absolutely every point he can get his hands on, but he's got to do it all again from the back of the grid this time. Ben Colburn, as we've seen, starting on pole position. Nicky Taylor, he is now, a point back, I think, in the championship. 2 points back between himself and Ben Colburn. So Nicky, as far as he's aware, needs to make this work. He needs to finish in front of Ben Colburn to retake the championship lead and go into the final 2 races of the 2024 Clio Cup GB season in the lead of the championship, putting himself in the best position possible to take that championship trophy. And if anything, James, this just proves you don't need cars or grids of 30 cars to make a close championship. They are 4 cars incredibly close together, and away they go. That's how quick we are getting things turned around here at Oulton Park. Ben Colburn gets a brilliant start. Nicky Taylor gets a poor start. Ben Jenkins, what an amazing start. He's already looking for 2nd place. He doesn't make it work. Dara Flock is now trying to go around the outside of Nicky Taylor, which does go well, and Ben Colburn runs slightly wide. That allows Nicky Taylor up the inside, potentially for the race lead. They arrive into your sight. Nicky Taylor leading the way. Ben Colburn down into 2nd place, and Dara Flock picks up 3rd from Ben Jenkins.
Yeah, so that remains the leading order as Dara Flock tries to go around the outside of Ben Colburn as they go towards Island Bend. It is Nicky Taylor who gets a slightly bigger lead and advantage over the 2nd place Ben Colburn, white and red Clio. Then comes Dara Flock in 3rd, and then in 4th position the LDR Performance Tuning sponsored Ben Jenkins entry is in 4th place as they go around the Shell Oils hairpin for the first time, and Nicky Taylor keeps the lead. So little change on the opening lap so far. It is Nicky Taylor who leads the way, Ben Colburn in 2nd place, and then the 22 of Dara Flock in 3rd, and then comes Ben Jenkins in 4th as they go through the Britain chicane for the first time, and they crown the hilltop and they come back down. It is still Nicky Taylor who leads. Ben Colburn has Dara Flock right alongside him. He's going to attempt to take 2nd off Ben Colburn, but instead he misses his braking point, goes straight on through the Knickerbrook escape road, and he emerges still in 3rd place. And then in 4th continues to be Ben Jenkins. So it is Nicky Taylor who will lead them up Clay Hill, with Ben Colburn slightly behind in 2nd. Dara Flock re-emerged in exactly where he left off when he left the track at Knickerbrook.
He did indeed, but Nicky Taylor's lead is just starting to extend that little bit. He's doing what he needs to do. We mentioned it at the start. He wants to get just that little bit closer to the 2024 Clio Cup GB Championship. However, Ben Colburn on the brakes on the running towards Lodge Corner, so much later on the brakes. So too was Dara Flock, and immediately that lead that we saw extending has opened up once again. So now we've got Nicky Taylor under big pressure. He's gone from what, half a second clear to a quarter of a second clear. We arrive in towards turn one. Nicky Taylor holds on to the lead. The slightly more, we always find that car is slightly stiffer sprung than the rest, and it was proven by 3 wheels on the run through turn one. Dara Flock bouncing over the curbs, top 3 with you.
Yeah, Nicky Taylor still has the lead. That gap has been closed significantly by Ben Colburn in second position, and Dara Flock once again tries to go up the inside but thinks the better of it and stays firmly planted in third place behind Ben Colburn. Jenkins continues to sit in fourth position as Nicky Taylor is chased all the time into the Shell Oils hairpin by Ben Colburn. Round the outside, Dara Flock attempts to go, but he thinks the better of that once again, and they now come back out of that corner, and it is still Nicky Taylor in that bright yellow Clio who has the lead. Ben Colburn sits in second position, then comes Dara Flock in third, and the order doesn't change at all as they go over the curbs that lead them out of Britain's, over Hilltop and back into sight. It is still Nicky Taylor with the lead. Will Ben Colburn attempt to try and overtake Taylor this time? He decides against it, so does Flock. They all stay in a line on the fastest line. Flock tries to think about going up the inside out of Knickerbrook of Colburn. He thinks the better of that as well. He goes slightly wide on the exit and now goes up Clay Hill, and Ben Jenkins still sits in fourth position. Nicky Taylor leads them into Druids.
Yeah, he does indeed. Nicky Taylor, the Dayglow yellow and orange machine, still trying to run away from the predominantly white with Dayglow orange flashes of Ben Colburn. Dara Flock, predominantly blue and white, still giving chase on the brakes in towards Lodge Corner. This is where we see the 2 Westbourne Motorsport cars close in of Ben Colburn and Dara Flock. Ben Jenkins working his way through Lodge Corner now and still giving chase for the rest of that top 3, but Nicky Taylor ticks another lap in the book in the lead of the race with the fastest lap of the race as well, a 1 minute 56.536, so he extends the margin from a quarter of a second up to just over 3/10 of a second. Nicky Taylor again, he just needs to manage this race. It's still got 15 minutes to go, so if he can control it from the front and potentially build that gap yet more, that will be what he needs to do, because the 2 Westbourne cars, whilst they are teammates, they will fight when they need to, but in the meantime they're going to focus on working together and catching up their main championship rival.
Yeah, Nicky Taylor keeps the lead. Colburn was slightly spooked by Dara Flock trying to go up his outside there and did slide ever so slightly going in a straight line down Lakeside, and Flock did exactly the same. I think they hit a slight patch of the damp stuff going through Island Bend, and then Ben Jenkins still sits firmly in fourth position. So the 4 cars all shod with Michelin tyres are still led by Nicky Taylor as they go through the Britain's chicane, and he still has the lead, and the margin he leads by doesn't seem to have closed either. It's about 3/10 of a second last time they passed the start finish line, and it doesn't seem to have changed as Flock and Colburn decide to just stay firmly behind Nicky Taylor. Neither of them decide to overtake, but now Colburn seems to have closed the gap more on Nicky Taylor, and he may well attempt to overtake into Druids as they go up Clay Hill. Nicky Taylor in the bright yellow Clio has the lead. Colburn still sits in second as they go into Druids, and then Flock still in third.
So Flock still in third place, trying to again just keep tabs on his Westbourne Motorsport teammate further up the road under the Warwick Bridge, then on the brakes, but a bit of a front lock up there from Nicky Taylor. Tries to correct it by turning in slightly early, does so very nicely indeed. If anything, that may have just gained him a little bit of time as the car got pulled in towards the apex. However, I think Ben Colburn might be a bit closer this time as they all trade for the fastest lap of the race. It was Nicky Taylor on a 1:55.738. It was then Ben Colburn on a 1:55.666, and then Dara Flock got it on a 1:55.456. So the top 3 all trading for fastest laps of the race. Ben Jenkins over the line, still giving chase for those cars up the road and lapping within a second of race leader Nicky Taylor. But Nicky now under the biggest pressure he has been all race. Ben Colburn's well and truly there, isn't he?
He absolutely is. He looks closer than ever, and the timing screen says he's closer than ever, with only 2/10 between him and Nicky Taylor. There's exactly the same margin between Colburn and Flock as they head into the island hairpin, into the Shells Oils hairpin for the 4th time. It is still Nicky Taylor with the lead. Colburn is right on his tail, but Dara Flock is on his tail as well, so there is maximum pressure on both Colburn and Nicky Taylor here, with Dara Flock eyeing both of them up as they go out of the Britain's chicane and back over Hilltop. And it is still Nicky Taylor with the lead. And then in second position is Ben Colburn. Dara Flock did have a brief look down the outside, but still they're still waiting for their moment to overtake. They're on a drying track, improving grip all the time as they go back up Clay Hill. Nicky Taylor defending every move by Ben Colburn, and Colburn sits in second, Flock still in third, and Ben Jenkins still sits in 4th position.
He does indeed. Through Druids, the lead trio go. Nicky Taylor continuing to manage this race from the front, just doing what he can to keep Ben Colburn behind without compromising himself too much by way of a defence. And Dara Flock, I'm sure, will be getting rather impatient behind as well, because he wants to try and not only get past his Westbourne Motorsport teammate, but also take the lead away from Nicky Taylor. But if he does so, that's going to put Ben Colburn on the back foot. Nicky Taylor responds with the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 55.258. So line astern, they work their way in towards Old Hall Corner, along the avenue and in towards Denton's. Back into your sight in a few moments' time. I've got a feeling Dara Flock, he's now trying to apply that pressure onto Westbourne Motorsport stablemate Ben Colburn.
He certainly is, and they are closer than ever this free. And Nicky Taylor still has the lead. Ben Colburn didn't attempt to overtake going down Lakeside, and then Dara Flock is just waiting to see if he can overtake the pair of them at some point. And then Ben Jenkins still in 4th position as these 4 1,030 kilo machines make their way round the Shell Oils hairpin for the 5th time of asking. The order remains unchanged, as Dara Flock did briefly look at the inside, but I don't think anything of that as they go out through Britain's chicane and go back up Hilltop. Nicky Taylor is keeping the same line as he does every time. It's clearly the fastest one. They all follow him and stick to him like glue. And it is Nicky Taylor who leads the way through Knickerbrook. Ben Colburn in second, and third Dara Flock, and there really is nothing between this trio of cars as they go up Clay Hill. And there must be huge pressure now on Nicky Taylor in that bright yellow Clio. From in second position Ben Colburn, third to Dara Flock, and Ben Jenkins in 4th.
Ben Jenkins continuing to just keep tabs with those cars up the road. Nicky Taylor, he's now under more and more pressure from Ben Colburn as they work their way underneath the Warwick Bridge. Nicky Taylor decides to go defensive, places the car in the middle of the road, just wanders over very slightly in the braking zone. Contact between the pair of them. Ben Colburn pushing Nicky Taylor through the final corner. That compromises his exit, so Ben Colburn now under pressure from Dara Flock, his Westbourne Motorsport teammate. Over the line the pair of them go side by side. If they compromise themselves in towards turn 1, it will cost them a little bit of time. Dara Flock nicks his way up the inside and takes second place away with 10 minutes on the clock. The 2 Westbourne cars have changed for second place, but Nicky Taylor holds on to the lead. It's further away from those 2 cars behind than ever.
Yeah, and he goes quarter of a second quicker as well, 1 minute 52.25 for Nicky Taylor that time. Quarter of a second faster. Dara Flock, though, has just overtaken Ben Colburn going down Lakeside, and Dara Flock takes second position. Ben Colburn is in third, and then comes Ben Jenkins in 4th position. So it is Taylor, Flock, Colburn and Jenkins as they go round the Shell Oils hairpin for the 6th time. And it is still Nicky Taylor with the lead. Dara Flock now is his nearest pursuer, and Colburn relegated to 3rd place, and then Ben Jenkins in 4th. They go through Britain's chicane, back uphill they go. Nicky Taylor continues to have the lead, and it looks like he may have extended that lead ever so slightly to more than 3/10, maybe it's 4/10, but it seems to have shrunk once more as they go into the braking zone at Knickerbrook. And it is now Nicky Taylor with Dara Flock closer than ever by the looks of it. He's really closed up as they go up Clay Hill. It is Nicky Taylor now has a wingmirrors full of a blue car in the form of Dara Flock. Ben Colburn is in 3rd position, and Ben Jenkins continues in 4th as they go under the footbridge for the 6th time.
They do indeed. Through Druids once again. 8.5 minutes remaining on the clock. A bit of a wobble on the exit of Druids from Dara Flock. Nicky Taylor decides he's not close enough this time to go for the move, so just bides his time and takes his normal line on the run through the final corner at Lodge. Over Deer Leap they will go. Dara Flock now starting to apply the pressure more and more as they come towards the line. Nicky Taylor decides to go to the inside to go defensive, just to try and force Dara Flock the long way around. He can afford himself the outside and the widest run on the run in towards turn number 1. So Nicky Taylor holds on to the lead from Dara Flock. Then Ben Colburn, he's fallen away quite substantially, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has actually. He's no longer challenging for the lead, that's for sure. And Dara Flock is now going to go alongside. Oh, and Ben Colburn spins his car and goes, oh my good God, he's pirouetted, did a 360-degree turn, then landed on his roof once, bounced again, and landed on his roof twice. He's now hanging in mid-air at 90 degrees to the ground, and his all 4 wheels are 90 degrees to the ground, and I don't think we'll be staying with a green flag for very much longer at all, as Ben Colburn had quite a spectacular incident all on his own going down Lakeside. So there are marshals at Lakeside attempting to right that vehicle because it is currently on its side. I'm not sure the leading drivers are aware of this. We do have yellow flags, but not at Knickerbrook, so a race is still on if we now go to a safety car. So the race has been neutralised to a safety car.
It has indeed, and yeah, so unfortunate for Ben Colburn. You will be able to see from your position, we're just hoping that he is okay and hoping that he gets out.
Yeah, fantastic news. Ben Colburn jumps out of that car. Looking rather annoyed, but he looks like all his limbs are in fine working order. That's fantastic news. The car, we can't say the same for that, I'm afraid.
That has to be the main thing, that Ben Colburn is out of the car under his own steam and walking away. Granted, sort of emotionally you'd imagine that would be quite jarring, but physically at least he is out of the car. He might wake up with maybe a few sore joints in the morning, and you may find what you tend to find with racing drivers, now we know he's okay, you just get a little pain at the top of your left thigh, usually where your wallet sits. That's normally where racing drivers get a small pain following an incident like. But Ben Colburn, great news, out of the car, and hats off to the Oulton Park Marshals, immediately on the scene, doing what they can to make sure that Ben Colburn is okay. So the safety car has been deployed, as you say, with 5 minutes remaining. Nicky Taylor, Dara Flock and Ben Jenkins, the 3 cars that continue on behind the safety car, and this may be for the first time where they see exactly what had happened. And Dara Flock, I'm sure, as much as anyone, will see that and think, oh, that's my teammate, that's far from ideal. But not to take away anything from Ben Colburn, he had a sterling race up until that point, didn't he?
Absolutely, challenging for the lead in the race earlier on today, and challenging for the lead for a better part of most of the race we've just been watching. So a shame that it came to an end like that for Ben Jenkins. Sorry, for Ben Colburn.
Yeah, absolutely. So those 3 continue on. 5 minutes remaining. I've got a feeling we will see this one to about 80% before we then see the change from safety car to another flag we will go with. So the safety car continues around in towards Shell Oil's hairpin, and it does mean that it's more hats off as well to Alpine and the craftsmanship to prove that they have built an incredibly strong race car that Ben Colburn can get out. Rather frustrated, but that is hopefully the only sort of pain that he is feeling. Rather shaken, I am sure, but yeah, brilliant work by the marshals, brilliant work by the circuit staff for getting on the scene so quickly, making sure he is okay. He will go back debrief with the medical staff as well, of course, purely as a precaution. It doesn't necessarily mean anything is wrong, but after any contact, sort of heavy contact with another car or a barrier, the precaution is go to the medical centre, because you don't know. It's just in case. So he will wander over there, get to the all clear, I am sure, and then go to Westbourne Motorsport to probably apologise. That's the weird thing. You never do it on purpose, having been unfortunate enough to be in a similar situation before, the first thing you do is apologise, and you haven't done it on purpose, but you know that it is just the right thing to do. But those three working their way through and past you. Nicky Taylor, he's eager to get this underway, isn't he? You can just tell he's weaving left and right. So too, actually, is Dara Flock quite sort of aggressively, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess they are weaving quite vigorously. I'd imagine Dara Flock's probably keener than Nicky Taylor to get the race underway, but it seems quite a long shot, really.
No, it does say checkered flag as well on my TSL timing screen. The clock continues to tick down, but I don't know whether the safety car is just going to lead them over the line to get them classified in these relative positions. And then what we can do is go through the order of play for the rest of today, but they're just working their way underneath the Warwick Bridge towards the line and back towards me in a few moments' time. But arguably, you've had the best seats in the house throughout today, haven't you? Some of the racing you've seen is absolutely brilliant.
Oh, it's the best view in the house, Knickerbrook. If anyone's not been down here to come and watch, then it's a fantastic view. You can see them coming through Cascades, down Lakeside, which is obviously a really long straight, and then they come back over Hilltop, which is another really fast straight, into the braking zone down here at Knickerbrook, into the Hislop chicane, which is quite a fascinating chicane. There's lots of overtaking here. There's lots of different lines the drivers can potentially take, and then you go back up Clay Hill, where if you've got any sort of edge, you can also overtake up Clay Hill, which is another great place to watch. No. So it's brilliant down here.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a very fortunate place to be. But yes, the checkered flag has come out, meaning that Nicky Taylor does take the win under the circumstances he would not have liked. Rest assured, he will not have liked to have won a race under those circumstances. But Nicky Taylor wins ahead of Dara Flock, and Ben Jenkins rounds out your podium. And Ben Colburn finishes in 4th place. We'll go with that. Ben Colburn does finish in 4th place for me, absolutely. So the cars working their way back up back through the section of circuit near you. They're taking the shortcut on the Foster circuit. I've got to run over to the podium so I can grab a word with those top three.
Excellent. So, once they've got this car cleared up, then we will move on to our 12th race of the afternoon. It's the Legends Cars Championship. You'll see 37 cars in action. It'll be another exciting race, I can guarantee that. And that's due to be off at 5 o'clock. And we've got 20 minutes between there now, so it might even go off on time. We'll be back with the grid for that very shortly.